Good morning. Next topic is tabulation. So tabulation is defined as the measurement of data in columns and rows. And tabulation is done after classification. Okay, the main purpose of tabulation is to prepare the data for final analysis. So the purpose of tabulation is to help the analysis after collection and classification of data. Then types of tables. First one is symbol table. In symbol table, the data are presented only for one variable or one characteristic. In symbol table, we can present only one variable or one characteristic. This is known as one-way table. If the study is related to one variable, it is called unidimensional analysis. Complex tables. A complex table may contain data pertaining to more than one characteristic. If the study is related to more than two variables, then such a study is called multivariate analysis. There may be two-way tables and manifold tables. Under complex tables, there may be two-way tables and manifold tables. First one, two-way table. A table which shows two characteristics are called two-way table. So two characteristics are shown in a two-way table. Three-way table. These types of tables display three types of attributes. It is used when three interrelated, mutually related attributes of a phenomenon are to be displayed. In such a case, we use three-way table. Bivariate frequency table. It's a cross table where the table is prepared based on the values of two variables. Here, the class intervals based on the value of one variable are placed in the row, and the class intervals based on the value of other variable is placed in the column. Okay, such a table is called bivariate frequency table. Class intervals based on the value of one variable are placed in the row, and class intervals based on the value of other variables is placed on the column. Then contingency table. Contingency table is a joint frequency distribution of two or more sets of variables. It is also known as data matrix. It cannot be used for identifying cause and effect relationship. We can't use contingency table for identifying cause and effect relationship. The tabulation of subgroups will be conducted only for the purpose of comparison. Then now we are going to discuss parts of a statistical table. First part is title of the table. So a proper title should be given to the table. Caption heads. So in a table there will be columns and rows. Title of columns are called caption heads. Then steps. Row headings are called steps. Body of the table. Main data will be given in the body of the table. Endnotes. So just below the table, the explanation for stars at the rate etc. will be given. So such a note is called end note. Then source notes. If the table is based on outside information, if the table is prepared based on the data taken from outside sources, from periodicals or from bulletins or like, then we should give the source from where the table is taken. That is called source node. Then what are the principles of tabulation? First one, the title of the table should be short and convey the very purpose clearly. The title given to the table should be very short and it must convey the purpose of the table. Second one, every table should have a distinct number. Table number 1, table number 2, like captions and steps should be precisely and properly given. For each columns, one heading should be given. For each row, one heading should be given. Fourth one, the size of the columns and rows should not be too narrow or too wide. Okay, size of the columns as well as rows should not be too narrow, too wide. Rows and columns may be numbered to facilitate easy reference. For each column and row, numbers should be given 1, 2, 3 like for easy reference. Generally, horizontal lines are drawn for the arrangement of items in rows. Horizontal lines should be there for arrangement of items. Columns are arranged by drawing vertical lines. These are arranged according to the size of the data and entries to be made. Columns should be arranged according to the size of the data and the entries to be made. Eighth one, units of measurement should be clearly shown. Number, kilogram, like units of measurement should be clearly shown. The totals of rows and columns should be given separately. Row totals and columns totals should be given separately. As far as possible, avoid abbreviations. If it is unavoidable, give their meanings in the note. The source note should convey the author, the title, the year of publication for ensuring the reliability of data if necessary. If source note is given, it should contain the name of the author, the title, the year of publication, etc. for ensuring the reliability of data given in the table. Next one is descriptive data analysis under different types of measurement. Descriptive data analysis under different types of measurements. There are 4 levels of measurement. They are nominal measurement, ordinal measurement, interval measurement and ratio measurement. We have already discussed all these points in the at the time of studying scales, different types of scales: nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale, ratio scale. Okay, so by using all these scales, now we are going to measure. So 4 types of or 4 levels of measurements are there. First one is nominal measurements. Variables that are measured only nominally are called categorical variables. Suppose we want to study the association between respondents' level of income, high income, middle income, low income, and their preference for different brands of toothpaste. Brands like A, B, C, D, etc. It's a case of relating two nominal variables. Okay. So here, two variables. First one is response level of income, high income, middle income, low income. So it is a nominal variable. And another one is a preference for different brands of toothpaste. Different brands of toothpaste like A, one brand, B, second brand, C, third brand, D, fourth brand. So it is another nominal variable. So we are now what we are doing. We are relating the two nominal variables here. The only comparison that can be made between variable values are equality. We can measure only the equality. The descriptive analysis we can here use is the measure of central tendency and that 2 is mod. Descriptive analysis, we can use central measures of central tendency and that 2 is mod. And mod we can use here. Ordinal measurements. Variables measured at the ordinal level, also referred to as rank variables. We can rank the variables. For example, if we ask the respondents to rank order the preference of n attributes, we can make use of the ordinal level of measurement. We are going to rank order the preference of 10 attributes of a particular product, then we can make use of the ordinal level of measurement. Here, comparisons of greater and less can be made in addition to equality and inequality. We can compare, okay, which one is greater, which one is less preferred. So, in addition to equality and inequality, we can make comparison between two variables. But operations like addition or subtraction cannot be made. The descriptive analysis we can do in this case are measures of central tendency like median and mode. Okay. Interval measurement. This level of measurement has the characteristics of both rank order and equal interval. But it has no absolute 0 point. That is one of the important limitations of interval scale. Comparison of items and operations of addition and subtraction can be made in the level of measurement. Comparison of items, we can make comparison of items. The operations like addition, subtraction, etc. can be made in the level of measurement. The descriptive analysis we can do are the measures of central tendency, namely median, mode, or mean. Ratio measurement. Ratio scales have true 0 points. In ratio scales, we have a true 0 points. This is the highest level of measurement used for quantitative data. Among the measurement scales, the highest level of measurement used is ratio measurement. This level of measurement allows not only for addition and subtraction, but also multiplication and division. The descriptive we can use are the measures of central tendency such as median, we can use mode, arithmetic mean and geometrical mean. All these descriptive analysis we can make. Common descriptive techniques. First one is percentages. No need of explanation. Second one is a frequency table. One of the most common ways to describe single variable is with a frequency distribution. Frequency distribution can be depicted in two ways, as a table or a graph. We call it as frequency table. Okay, we can represent the frequency distribution in two ways, either through a table or through a graph. Contingency table. A contingency table shows the relationship between two variables in tabular form. Relationship between two variables will be shown in tabular form. For example, if one wants to study the relationship between employee skill development and the training given to them, relationship between employee skill development and the training given to the employees, it can be done with the help of contingency table. By using contingency table, we can study the relationship between employee skill development through the training given to the employees. The term contingency table was first used by the statistician Carl Pearson in 1904. Graphs. Graphic presentation is an important technique of presentation of statistical data. Graphic presentation eliminates the dullness of data, makes it more interesting. Through graphs, it is easier to draw trends from the statistical data. Types of graphs. Four types of graphs are there: charts or line graphs, second one bar charts, third one circle chart or pie diagram, fourth one pictogram. First one, charts or line graphs. A line graph is used to show the effect of independent variable on dependent variable. Here, the values of the dependent variable are taken on the y-axis and that of the independent variable on the x-axis. Values of dependent variable will be shown on the x-axis and the values of independent variable will be shown on the x-axis. Okay. Bar charts. Bar chart is a graphical view of the given data such that the frequency of each category is shown as a vertical against the category in proportion to the heights of other such vertical strip. Histogram. Histogram is a graphical view of the given data such that the frequency of each range of the variable is shown as adjacent vertical strip against that range of the variable in proportion to the heights of other such strips. Frequency polygon. Frequency polygon is a line diagram connecting the midpoints at the top of different vertical strips of the histogram of a given problem. So it is a line diagram connecting the midpoints at the top of each vertical strips of the histogram. First of all, a histogram will be prepared and the midpoints are connected. Ogive curve. Ogive curve is a cumulative frequency curve. Here, cumulative frequencies are taken. This can be classified into less than ogive and more than ogive. Two types of ogives are there, less than ogive and more than ogive. Less than ogive curve. In less than ogive curve, the upper limit of each class interval is taken on x-axis in increasing order. What is taken on x-axis? The upper limit of each class interval is taken on x-axis in increasing order. For each such upper limit on x-axis, the cumulative frequency of all the class intervals from the first class interval to the last class interval are taken on the y-axis. Cumulative frequency of all class intervals from the first class interval to the last class interval are taken on the y-axis. Okay. Frequencies are taken on the y-axis, cumulative frequencies. More than ogive. In more than ogive curve, the lower limits of each class. Here, lower limits of each class interval is taken on y-axis in increasing order. For each such lower limit on x-axis, the cumulative frequency of all the class intervals from that class interval to the last class interval are taken on y-axis. So in ogive curve, more than ogive curve, the lower limits of each class interval, lower limit will be taken on x-axis in increasing order. For each lower limit on x-axis the cumulative frequency of all class intervals from that class interval to the last class interval. From the class interval we are taken to the last class interval are taken on y-axis. Circle charts or pie diagram. This is a chart in which the area of a circle is divided into different sectors representing different categories such that the angle of each sector is proportional to the frequency of the corresponding category. Okay, so a circle is drawn and it is divided on the basis of the proportion of items. Pictograms. These diagrams are drawn for presenting data in picture form. Different types of pictures are used. Use of pictures depends upon the nature of phenomenon that is to be represented or depicted in pictures by means of number or the arc. So use of pictures depends upon the nature of study and it is represented in pictures by means of numbers or the arc. Okay.